Guys, what's good, winners? Welcome or welcome back to this channel. I am Winnie. If this is the first time of you watching a video of mine, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you're notified every single time that I upload. And if you're an oldie and you've come back to watch this face of mine, love you long time. Right, listen, I probably look really tired. I've had a long ass day. I've been up since 6 today, right? Went to the gym first thing this morning. I've had a long day at work. Quite a few things have happened in between. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling emotionally drained. But I said, you know what? Yeah, the same way I showed up for my 9 to 5 is the same way I'm going to show up for myself and this channel. So I thought, you know what? Why not sit back with y'all and have what I hope is going to be a very quick talk, right? So for those of y'all that don't know, I've had my locks since 2011. I think that makes it like 13 years, right? And I've had like various methods. I've done the whole interlocking method. I've done the whole retwist method. I semi-freeformed for a year. Then went back to retwisting and styling as usual, and then Jan 2024 I decided, you know what, I want to semi-freeform again. So, you know, I haven't retwisted my locks since Jan of this year. I'm not gonna turn around, but you get the point. And I've kind of done a whole video in regards to like semi-freeforming and stuff. But you know what, I've got upcoming videos that I'm yet to film where I'll probably talk to you about a few of the benefits of each method that I've had and maybe the cons of each method that I've had. But that's not what this video is about, right? I just find it very interesting how when you stop doing something, you start to notice things about people who still do the thing that you stopped, right? Now, before I get deep into this conversation, this is not a conversation of me trying to negatively say anything about people who retwist their locks. There's absolutely nothing wrong with getting your locks retwisted, right? I visually love how it looks on other people, that fresh retwist. And there was a point in time when I quite loved the fresh retwisted look of my locks, right? It just so happens, I don't know what happened, but I started to not like the scalpy look. I like it when my locks look how they currently do, you know, a bit thicker, a bit fuller at the roots, etc. and frizzy vibes. I feel like it adds character to my locks personally. But you know what kind of inspired for me to sit down and have this chat? I was at the nail shop last week. These are my nails, the nails I got done. If my camera wants to focus. Don't know if it's focusing or not, but yeah, I got my nails done last week. And when I was sat and I was getting my nails done, the auntie next to me was like, oh, where'd you get your locks done? And I was like, oh, what do you mean, where do I get my locks done? And she was like, where do you get your locks retightened? And I said, oh, I don't, but when I used to get it retightened, I went to so-and-so. And she was like, what, you don't like getting your locks retightened? And I was like, no, I don't, because I like it how it currently is. And I've come to the realization that the more I retighten it, the more thin and weak it gets. And then there was just this dead, awkward silence. And I was just like, oh, in my head, I was like, that's kind of weird. But then put that to the side. Lately, I'm active on Twitter, right? If you're on Twitter, follow me. I've noticed the way that people talk about their locks before they get a retwist, you know. They say certain things, like, especially the men, they'll say certain comments like, oh, I can't wait to look fresh again. I can't wait to, you know, look like somebody's son again. Or, you know, just little comments as if to say, without getting a retwist, you don't look good. I say all of this just to say, I feel like there's this indirect obsessiveness about having our locks looking exceptionally neat, right? And the way that we generally speaking talk about our locks when you haven't got the fresh retwist is actually a little bit concerning, because it kind of goes down to the whole idea of you think that your hair is not perceived as presentable unless every single grain is in place, unless people can see your scalp, unless it's presented in a particular way. And granted, it's not everybody who gets a retwist that has that sort of view, but it's just the way that we speak about ourselves before we get a fresh retwist. Locks is meant to be, you know, a natural hairstyle, right? It's meant to be a style that represents you embracing your blackness and being proud of your blackness, right? So whether you have a fresh retwist or you don't, and I get it, this is not me saying, oh, people shouldn't be excited about going to get their hair done and stuff, because, you know, like any other hairstyle, I suppose, when you're going to get your hair done, you're absolutely excited, like, oh, I can't wait to get my hair done and da 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 da. But there's just a certain undertone. If anybody understands where I'm coming from, please feel free to drop it in the comments below, and if you don't, that's also absolutely fine. But yeah, I've seen people say like, oh, I can't wait to look human again and get my fresh retwist, and I'm thinking, so you think you look bad without a fresh retwist? But yeah, it's just a random observation that I had, and it made me think, did I ever kind of talk about myself in that way when I used to regularly get my hair retwisted and styled? And probably indirectly, or, you know, I probably did without realizing it, because I think that these things are said without us realizing that we're saying it. And I feel like the only reason why I notice it a lot more lately is because I've decided to not subscribe to that. Now, anything can happen in future. Maybe in 6 months time I may decide, oh well, actually I do want to go back to getting my locks retwisted, but maybe instead of getting it retwisted once every 2 or 3 months, maybe I'll get it retwisted once every 6 months instead, right? Anything can happen, because we all know on this channel I say one thing and then I end up doing another a couple months down the line, and that's the beauty of us being human. We are allowed to change our minds. We are allowed to come back and be like, you know what, I thought this way, but actually now this information has been presented to me and I now realize, well, actually, do you know what I mean? However, I would like to think that going forward, should I even decide to get my locks retwisted again, I won't have that mindset of, oh, like, wow, I finally look like wifey material because I've got my locks retwisted. Like, it's just strange to me. And I know there's gonna be people that are gonna be watching this video and they're gonna be like, oh, Winnie, people are allowed to talk about themselves how they want. And yes, people absolutely are. However, I am on YouTube for a reason. I am predominantly now doing lock videos at present for a reason. And my whole thing is, I like to share my lock journey, but not only do I like to share that, I like to express my thoughts, my opinions, but I also want to really encourage people to love their locks, right? Whether you're semi-free forming, whether you retwist, whether you're interlocking, I don't give a heck what type of locks you have or what method you're using to quote unquote maintain your locks. I want you to love your locks at every single stage. It even bothers me when people talk about, you know, at the beginning stages, for those who go through the I'm gonna say traditional method of locks, where you have to like wait for your locks to mat together, not the instant lock method. But when people talk about the ugly stage, like, that bothers me, because what do you mean it's an ugly stage? It's not an ugly stage. Your hair like looking frizzy, etc. It's just your hair matting together. When you think about it, when you describe it in that way, it's actually such a beautiful stage, because without that stage, your locks can't naturally form together, unless obviously nowadays there's all these instant locks and stuff where you kind of can skip out the whole thing of your locks being frizzy and stuff. But people call that the ugly stage, and I'm just like, what makes it ugly? Is it because of how you think it looks to other people, how other people may perceive you? And I think that's what my thing is when people talk negatively about their locks prior to getting a retwist, because when it comes down to it, it comes down to how you think other people view you or how other people think of you. And so it's like, even though yes you have locks and you're supposedly embracing, you know, natural hair and your natural journey, you're still holding on to certain stereotypical thinking, I think, is what I'm basically trying to say. Essentially, it's like, are you really about the look life or are you not? Because your locks are not gonna look quote unquote neat all the time, right? And that's perfectly fine. But if you can't fully embrace that and also embrace yourself and still see yourself as beautiful or handsome or whatever positive word you want to subscribe to, when your hair is not all slicked back and every single grain is in your lock, I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit of being on your lock journey, if you're still focusing on things like that. But hey, that just might be my view. If you have any views in regards to anything that I've said, if you get where I'm coming from, or even if you don't, feel free to drop it in the comments below. However, please keep it respectful. Like, I hate seeing disrespects in the comments. What that here is not the channel for that. Nevertheless, I'm gonna thank you so much for watching this video, and until my next one, take care, be good.